This week, we are going to be showing you how to get into bees for extremely cheap, possibly free, with stuff that you might already have laying around your house, especially if you are already a homesteader. You do not need very many tools. In fact, the bulk of the tools are some basic hand tools and a chainsaw. So if you have a chainsaw, maybe your father, family member, brother might have a chainsaw, you might be able to get into bees. We are going to be going to Highlandville, Missouri today, just south of where we are here in Springfield. And we are meeting Clark, who is going to show us his apiary. He's awesome, and he is selling nukes. Normally, people on Facebook sell nukes. This guy is selling full-blown kits for the same $200 cost. So it's $200. Normally, you're $180 to $225 for a 5-frame nuke kit. This guy is selling a full-blown 10-frame box with a beetle trap, with a pull-out drawer, everything. Why? Because he gets into the bulk of the cost for free. And so we're going to be going over exactly that. This guy is awesome. Try to get at least a screenshot of the listing, but the listings comes up every year, so I don't know if that Facebook link will continue to work, but be on the lookout for the bees. And Clark is awesome. If you have the opportunity to go buy from him, that's great. I have tested these bee boxes out when I got home. They don't quite fit flush with standard equipment, but I could probably plane everything off myself, but they fit close enough, right? Close enough to work. And that is the awesome part about this. And if I really wanted to, I could just take a single top frame box and I could plane it off and it will start working. So really excited. Without further ado, I'm going to show you that right now. We're going to go from a real hillbilly in Missouri, and he's going to show us how to get into bees for free. Woo!
What did we say, 7 and 12?
7 and 12, yes, sir. All right, we are here in Highlandville, Missouri with Clark. I met Clark because he's selling bees on Facebook, and came out here, and I'm picking up 2 hives right now. But it was a really neat operation. And so, Clark, you get into bees for pretty inexpensive, right?
Right. I don't buy any lumber. I make my own. I rip it with a chainsaw.
And that's what you're doing right here?
Yep. Rip my own boards. I don't buy any lumber.
And so, and all 100%, you get your apiaries there behind you, over there and over here. You made every bit of it yourself, pretty much. Not the frames, because it's just cheaper to buy the frames. But
I buy the frames. I don't buy anything else. I buy the frames, make all the boards. I buy the screen wire for the screen boards on the bottom.
Can you show us how you do that? Because if a lot of people are real handy and they can go and have access, or maybe they're in the trees. Here's one. Looks like it. So you built all this?
Yeah. See, those are made out of sassafras heartwood. The landing board's red cedar with no sapwood. And I just put these together. Beetle tray slides right in the back of it.
And you were telling me you moved away from the regular land and bottom boards.
Yeah, I don't use a solid at all.
Years ago. What was that reason?
Beetles. I lost all the bees I had, the beetles.
Black hive beetles.
Small hive beetles.
And so how does this work? Why do some bees, for those who don't know, what happens?
Well, you set this up fairly level. Set your hive on top of this. Put just enough vegetable oil in here to cover the bottom of it. Slide it back in. And as the beetles come in, the bees can't hurt them, but they harass them down through this mesh, through the wire. They get in the oil and die. They don't have a chance to get populated in the hive.
So the bees just chase them down, and then they fall in.
They harass them right down into the oil, and they're done.
Right.
And you just take this out once a winter and clean it out and put it back.
And then you just put just enough vegetable oil where it covers the bottom.
Right. And that takes care of the beetle problems. I haven't lost any of the beetles since I started doing this. I would not set up bees without this setup.
And you say you rip all your own logs and boards and everything to build it, because your bottom box it's oak, right?
The bottom one's oak because, you know, I have access. I can make 10-inch boards out of oak.
Right.
So I cut firewood.
Just right, okay.
Now for these, I either find sassafras or red cedar big enough to rip boards out. So that's just a piece of red cedar.
And you just rip that.
Make sure I trimmed it all. There's no sapwood left on it.
So you just rip that down with a chainsaw.
This is made up with a chainsaw, yeah. And then of course I've got a table saw. I cut them to size.
Right. So once you get them skinny enough, then you've got
once
it.
Once I get them down to size.
And then this contraption here, how does this all work?
Well, this
is the bottom board.
What happens if you unroll a roll of screen wire?
All right, it's a mess.
It just blows up. So I made this little contraption. This is my anti-backlash. And I just pull it out here to this mark on this table.
And then that's exactly the size you need.
That's the size I need. I'm going to wire hung up in it. About half the board. Side.
And you're ready to go.
There's one cut the size.
So you made it yourself a jig, which is nice. That's huge.
And to put these boxes together.
You got another jig here to put the boxes together.
This one here is for lids. I just put a piece here, and then lay one on top of it. That's the right distance.
And you just took edge pieces and you just ripped them. So you only care about the flat side anyway. So you're using scraps.
I'm just using scrap stuff.
Yeah.
And mouse built it in. And like here, I just take I'm going to put my boxes together. I stand one side up there, other side up here, put my end in there. Same here, put another end in there, and then I'll screw it all together and it's square.
There you go. So that's simple. I mean, this is, what, an afternoon, you get it set up, figured out, and
just a couple of old sawhorses and a couple of scrap boards, and it's all scrap lumber. This is just pieces,
random pieces you had.
Random pieces.
And you've got your swarm catcher here. Can you show us about how that works and your hinge you built?
Yeah, these are the swarm traps. They're all different, various sizes, made out of scrap lumber. I put my frames in here. The hinge is made out of an old inner tube.
So old inner tube for a bike tire.
Yeah, and
it's good enough.
Well, that's an old tractor inner tube I've had around here for 40 years, and I just keep using pieces of it. Endless supply of hinges.
And it's not going to wear out or anything, so that's perfect.
And I'll screw this to the tree.
How do you rip down the boards with a chainsaw so where it's the correct thickness? You have a jig for that or something?
No, I just eyeball it.
You just eyeball it.
They're not all right.
Right.
They're a little thick and thin and what have you, but
they're close enough.
I just take that old chainsaw. I've only got a 20-inch bar on my saw, so I come up a little short on my 21-inch stuff.
Uh-huh.
And to get them apart, they still have a little wood holding at the end.
Uh-huh.
Past where I cut. I stick a throw in there and pop them off.
Mm. So it's kind of like making shingles for a wooden roof,
yeah.
except for...
Yeah, except they're mostly solid fruit.
And that's where you're getting this.
Yeah.
And you use this for a lot of good
then
stuff.
I sit there and trim off the rough split part. I trim it down. I just sit here and trim it down with this.
And the extra you use for barbecues.
Yeah.
Can you show us a little bit about your apiary? You think it's... So you built every one of these hives. How many hives? And you just do... We're here in Missouri.
Now the painted boards I didn't build. I
Okay.
bought them and some used stuff, but everything's not painted. I built it.
Got it.
Or homemade.
And when you made these here in Missouri, kind of south of Springfield, Missouri a little bit, you just leave them with a single deep and a single medium, or a single deep and a single super?
I use a single deep and a shallow on top of that, or a medium.
Yeah.
For the brood box. Then I put,
so
like this third box on here is a honey super.
All right, so these stay here all year round. You don't even do anything with them.
I never do anything with them. I don't use queen excluders, and I don't use inner covers.
No covers, no queen excluder.
Because the bees naturally will keep the brood down here. I've never found them in my honey supers brood. I just set them up like that.
And you're using to keep them off the ground. What are you using to keep them off the ground?
Just some concrete blocks and some old scrap lumber that came from Silver Dollar City out of the dumpster years ago.
Yeah.
It was scrap left over from a roller coaster.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I worked there 30 years, and I just picked up scrap when I could get it.
Right. They threw it out, then it's fair game.
Yeah. I told take it. These, of course, I never feed these through the summer. The ones I've got established here. I'll feed them at about the end of November. I'll give them, put down some newspaper on top of the frames.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll probably be down to this box this fall. I'll take that one off. I don't like to give them a lot of extra space. They can't keep the moths and stuff away as good. I kind of condense them to this bottom part for the winter. And I'll just lay down some newspaper on top of the frames in there. And I give them 1 bag of sugar, 4 pounds of sugar. That gets them to February. And then I give them a protein patty in February. And then start adding honey supers.
And how many hives do you have, personally?
I don't know, I've got about 14 or 15 here. That's about all I want to keep is honey producers.
Right, right.
No, I think I got about 16.
16.
A couple other places.
And you've got, I see over there, and we're just, we're 360 degrees of just forest. Most people think you can't use the land because maybe for timber, but really you can't grow a crop, you can't, graze cattle, but here
they will find something.
But the bees you can use. You stick some hives out here, they're going to find.
They'll find something. They'll find something.
Making a big crop. That's huge.
If you don't have a drought, they do better, I think this is going to be a good year. I haven't pulled any honey yet, but the ones I've checked look like they're pretty well full.
Do you keep adding even more, or you just do the one hive
I won't
per?
add any more this year. It depends on where they're at. Like if I had a super on one that had some comb in it, I probably left it over winter.
Mm-hmm.
It fed on top of it. And then in the spring, I'll add 1 or 2 honey supers to that.
And this is real simple. You just made the box, and then you just put a piece of tin on the top.
Piece of barn metal on top. The main purpose of that is to keep the rainwater out of my oil trays. If you want to check them, you just pull them out and look at them.
Right.
And you're on the back side, so the bees aren't going to pay much attention to you.
Attention hillbilly homesteaders out there. Are you aware that I actually have another YouTube channel, and it is all about business? And so if you are a homesteader and you are trying to make a living and be profitable around that, a lot of the stuff on that channel could be good pointers for you, point you in the right direction. It is all about profit, efficiency, getting the most amount of value for the least amount of work and effort. And it is the exact same principles that I apply to the homestead here on this channel. So if you guys enjoy that, go check that out. Back to the video. And like you were saying, not everything's square, but they're square enough. You don't care.
Square enough, they'll match up.
And like those bees right there coming out.
Cracker and found place,
But they'll close that up with propolis if they want to.
They can, but if there's always bees right there guarding it.
Right. That's an upper entrance for them if they want.
One thing don't ever do, don't be tempted to put another entrance up here.
Don't put an entrance up high.
Up high.
Because then you're going to have brood up there, right? You could have brood up there.
Well, I had that problem, but I did that one time and wondered why the moths moved in. They didn't guard it.
They couldn't defend it as much.
They didn't defend it good enough. So I don't use any. No, I swore off any entrance up high. I did that one time.
Well, I found you because you were selling bees. You want to show us that and kind of what you got going on? And you built all of this out here. You built this.
Yeah.
Is this a smoke shed? What is this?
A smokehouse.
Smokehouse? Wow.
Back about 40 years ago. I just always wanted one.
Got the rail fence here. All right, so this is
These are ones for sale.
these are ones for
That
sale.
I caught this spring. They're just in single deeps.
So these are wild swarms or feral swarms you caught,
Yeah.
and then put them in here.
I put them in there for a very small swarm. I'll feed them. Otherwise, I just let them go.
And most people are selling nukes, and you're selling a full box and everything.
This is a full ready to go setup.
Right. So
All you got to do, there's no transferring done from nuke into a box. You simply relocate it. It's ready to go. It's a bottom screen, bottom board with the oil pan, the lid, and a piece of tin to keep the rainwater out.
that's huge. Well, if you're around the Springfield area or Highlandville or Branson, you should definitely check them out. You know, you can find them online on Facebook. If you're selling them, you can see the stuff. But most people are selling nukes, and you're not selling a nuke. You're selling a full-blown kit.
It's a 10-frame box.
10 frames. Everything's ready to go.
It's ready to go. It's ready to add a second box to it.
Right. So you caught them. They're doing well, and then you're selling them when they're ready.
This is late July. I caught these back in April.
Caught them in April.
And I mean, I had quite a few more here. I've sold several, but they're ready to go. They're ready to. They need a new home because they need a new second box put on, and I don't need that many bees.
Right, and they're close to swarming, probably because running out of space.
Well, they could. They're getting close to running out of room.
Well, that's great. Well, is there anything else you want folks to know?
I can't think of it right now.
What's this thing here for?
That's where I can sit and watch them.
Just sit and watch them. Got a
Once
cooler?
in the evening, I'll come out here and just sit down, maybe get me a cold beer and sit down and just see how they're all doing.
Sit down, drink a beer, watch your bees. That's about perfect.
I'm going to put a trap on a tree.
So this is for swarm traps.
I don't use ladders. I don't get up on the tree on a ladder. I'm 74. I don't need to be on a ladder. Walk up there about that high, put a couple of screws in this,
So then there's a shelf up there.
fasten it to the tree,
Right.
and a back pickup up, set my box on there so this is holding it.
So you just put one of your swarm traps on top.
Yep. I don't have to hold it. Put about 4 screws through that top board on the swarm traps. Take this down and go on to the next.
So you don't leave the shelf there. You just keep going to the next place,
Yeah.
next place.
Just take this with you and go hang the next.
And you're not even
Never
that.
on a ladder. That's only about 6 foot off the ground, but it works very well.
And this is what you're ripping the boards out of. You just
That's sassafras.
put it in the center and just eyeballing it going down, or what?
Well, what I do is I'll trim one side off. I kind of measure. I want 10-inch board. I'll cut one side off flat, and I'll turn it up to where that flat side's up, right over there. And then I just try to guess about every inch to 3/4,
Right.
and just slab off boards, rip them
Right.
like this.
So then you start going down. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah,
5.
Yeah, I can get that block of wood there. I can get about 10 sides. I can get about 10 sides. I can get material for about 5 deeps
5 deep.
out of one of these big blocks.
And that's incredible because most people here, they're going to see this as firewood, which is what you do too.
Right.
But you're going to use your scraps for firewood, and this right here, which everybody else is paying people to haul off, you know, a tree falls after a storm, and you're turning it into 5 bee boxes, beehives.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And then a piece of, this is some old red cedar that was left in the woods years ago. It got given to me. I trim all the sap's rotting on it, but it's got a lot of heartwood in it, and that's what I use.
Right. So you'll take this, rip that down, same thing, and that's what you use for the edges, the side, the cedar board.
Yeah.
And why did you use the cedar board for the landing board?
Because it'll never rot.
Because
You don't have to paint it.
Ah, okay.
Now you can go back to this oak, all this oak, sassafras boxes. If you want to, you can go down in the fall and you can give it a coat of paint.
Uh-huh.
But that cedar, that landing board, there's no need to ever paint that. That's all. There's no sapwood in it, and it's going to be there 40 years from now.
Right. So the cedar is just never going to rot, never going to wear out, and that's what you make it out of. That's huge. And then this is the leftover. You use this one for your smoker, which is big.
This is great smoker material. Fantastic smoker material when it's dry.
Oh yeah, everybody. I'm reaching down for random leaves where I'm at, and this is great.
And I put it in my feed pans. I use these cheap aluminum pans to feed them. This is a feeder box.
Right.
You can put 3 of them in there. That'll hold 2 quarts of water and 1 bag of sugar.
So between all 3 of them, the 2 quarts of water and a bag of sugar.
Yeah.
And then that's just to keep them from drowning while you're feeding them.
Yeah. They take all the syrup out of there, then you just add more syrup.
Well, and what I like about these aluminum pans, you don't have to buy them. You just buy the lasagna from Walmart to eat, and then you have your pan left over.
You can, or these pans are pretty darn cheap.
Yeah.
You can get about 3 of them for $1.50.
And you got this board here, and then you just feed them. And you don't use the top boards or anything. You just set them directly. Well, imagine here, this is the top of a box.
There'd be frames here.
Right, as the top of the bees below.
And you just set these in there on top of them like that, pour the syrup in it, put the lid back on and go on.
There you
Come
go.
back in about 10 days and do it again, and they will build up really fast.
And you're doing that to give them a jump start.
That's
And
for
then,
my new ones.
so you catch a swarm and you place it high. You place it there.
We're on the verge of a dearth for the rest of the summer, so
Right,
new bees need fed, I believe.
right.
I'm a firm believer. I mean,
And here's your swarm box you're talking about. This is where one of them is. You put that little shelf up there.
I put this little piece of roofing on here to keep rainwater off of them.
You get some
And,
ventilation up there.
It's just like that. I put my lure in here on a cotton ball on the lid.
Uh-huh.
Hit it about once every week and a half.
You just using like Swarm Commander or
I
something?
use Swarm Commander.
Yeah. And then,
I've tried it and lemongrass oil. Swarm Commander worked for me.
you know, I just love these hinges. Just old inner tube.
Piece of inner tube.
And then you just set it up there.
Any kind of, like that's a thin board. It wasn't any good for anything, but it makes a great hanging board.
Right. You don't need everything to be square.
No,
You just
no.
need parts of them to be
The
square.
junk stuff I use for stuff like this. The ones that didn't come out quite right.
Yeah. That's huge.
The block of wood rolled on there and my saw was not quite sharp or my eyeball was off.
That's great. Well, if there's anything else you want folks to know about, you know, coming out, bees, if there's someone that's scared to get into bees, but they want to, or they think they don't have enough funds.
Well, no, really, if you're scared to get into bees, now if I pop the lid on one, I always put my protection on. Feral bees, and you can walk down here.
Yeah, we're not in
On
protection.
the back side, check your oil pans. Look them over. There's some bees got a crack. My feed box didn't fit up quite right. I'll move it later. I stuck it down.
Oh yeah, you said right here you're this is how you're feeding them, right? You feed them a little different. We can go simulate that over there.
Yeah, that's just
Basic lid.
an empty box that I put on there, and I put cheap aluminum pans in there, fill them with sawdust, and pour my syrup in there.
And
I give them 2 quarts of water and a 1 4-pound bag of sugar at a time.
it's a 50-50 solution. 50% sugar, 50% water.
Right,
And then you just put them and you pour it in the sawdust so they don't drown.
right. You pour it in the sawdust. They get in there and they suck it all out. Then you just, when it gets dry, pour it in again, and that will build them up really fast. I only feed the new ones because I want to get them into that second brood box. this summer sometime.
I see. So you only feed them to get them a jump start. So you don't feed any of those over there.
No, I don't feed any of.
It's just the swarms you catch. You're just trying to get them
If I
established.
watered them, they're past needing fed.
Right.
Except I give them a bag of sugar in the wintertime.
Right.
Dry sugar on newspaper.
Well, that's huge.
But that's just like I said, these are feral bees, and they're not looking at us even.
Well, yeah, if you're around anywhere in southeast Missouri, you should definitely check Clark out and get started on it. I mean, again, he's a guy with a chainsaw. You can rent a chainsaw, probably borrow a chainsaw, and you can, in the afternoon, have yourself a
You can make your own lumber as long as you get some blocks home to rip up and make your boards out of.
Yeah. Instead of spending money, hundreds of dollars to get into it, you could do it. You might already have the stuff laying around your house to do it. So
I'm selling them $200. I've got 50 in it.
$200,
Not counting any labor.
and you spent $50 of materials. That's the board, that's the screen, that's the front entrance.
That's the lid, that's the bottom board, that's the oil pan, that's the frames.
And how long
and
does
the
it?
wire, and the screen wire.
How long does it take you to build one?
Oh, if you're just working on one, you could fix one, and once you get the boards ripped out, you can make half a dozen a day easy, just piddling at it.
You make 6 a day with ease.
Just piddling at it.
Yeah, so for $50 and some elbow grease, you can make 6 of these a day.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Like these bottom boards are set up, it's kind of a complicated little deal. It's got a lot of pieces in it. What I'll do is I've got a pattern written down, and I cut out all my pieces. I'll cut out enough for 10 bottom boards at a time. I do 10 at a time.
10 at a time.
Then I'll store them away, and then next spring.
When you need them, you just pull them and build them.
I'm going to make 10 here before long, and that's just, I'm going to make,
Well, I think
sometime this summer, I'm going to make about 20 of these deep boxes, and I'm going to make 10 more of these bottom boxes, and some feeder boxes, and have them ready to go next spring.
Wow. Yeah, and one thing the biggest thing I noticed is everybody else is selling nukes, a 5-frame nuke for $250, $220. You're selling the whole box, 10 frames ready to go for about the same price.
$220.
$220.
$220 well, like I told you, if you buy multiples, I'll knock $20 off that.
Right, more than one.
They need to be moved.
Right.
They're running out of room.
Which is huge. Well, that's a girl. Thank you, Clark, for sharing that, and hopefully this inspires some new beekeepers to get out there and make their own.
You don't have to put any money in it, really. I've never had money to amount to anything, but this is a hobby.
Right. Well, and what I like about your setup too is you say you never touch the bottoms, you never really do anything with them.
Once I get that brood box, once I get them established, unless they die out or something, I'll never move it.
Right.
I know that oak box is heavy, but I'm never going to move it.
Right. Everybody else was saying, hey, we'll do that. And you're using oak because oak's what you had in the woods, laying around.
Supers, I make that either out of sassafras, heartwood, or cedar.
Because that's a lot lighter.
Red cedar, no sapwood.
Right.
It's very light. They're very light. They're as light as pine or lighter.
Yeah, here I'm even standing in the way. The path, they're just flying right around me. They don't care.
Now, I have been stung standing out here looking at them, but if you don't stand still in one spot too long, sometimes they won't look at you.
Well, cool. Well, thanks for sharing everything. I'm checking out this hive before we leave. There's a little bee window. Clark was an absolute baller. Thank you, Clark, for showing us how you do it. This is just a reminder that there are solutions to tons of problems out there if you have a little bit of ingenuity. He's reusing, right? Clark said he was a guy who processed firewood. Then he started taking the firewood chunks and making them into bee frames. And now he sells his bee frames. And what he was telling me is he does that for extra cash on the side and to pay his taxes at the end of the year. So he is retired, enjoying his life in the Ozarks. And that does not include what he takes and he sells into the actual what he sells on the market for honey and everything else. So this is a fantastic way to get started for cheap or free. If you guys like this video, then you're probably gonna like this one as well.